Hey you guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about my bullet journal. I'm just going to give you guys a flip through, a walkthrough. I'm just sharing with you guys how I set it up, how I stay organized, how I brain dump, and all of that fun stuff. So I want to share with you guys my really simple, non-fancy, non-artistic setup, but still share with you how to reap the benefits of bullet journaling if you're interested in it. Let's get into it. And this video is sponsored by Skillshare, but more on them later. In terms of supplies, you really don't need much. All you need is a notebook, and it doesn't have to be anything fancy. I have one of the more popular ones, the Lechtrum 1917. I like it because it has an index already laid out for you. The pages are numbered, and I like the dotted guide as opposed to a grid or lines, so you can just make it a little more custom and more your own. I can see why this one is a very popular choice for a lot of bullet journalers out there. So notebooks obviously are helpful, but you can use whatever you want, really. A lot of the bullet journal videos really go into the names of the pens, so just for completeness, I will share that with you, but I mean, I'm really not married to any particular pen. My favorite right now is this High Tech Point V5RT pure liquid ink pen. It's got a really nice fine tip. Oh no, my pen just, well, this was my favorite pen. And the second pen that I like is the Uniball Signo RT 0.7 pen. Both of these tend to bleed and smudge a little bit, and I am a lefty, so I always get smudging on my hand no matter what. I do recommend a ruler. This is the only one we have. I think it's Jeff's. And I've seen a lot of other channels, they get really deep into stickers and washi tape and things like that. So all I do to add a little color is I have a highlighter set. These are from Midliner. And I also bought these calligraphy pens. These are the Fudenosuke water-based pigment ink pens. These are brush pens. So I have one in black for thicker lettering and a bunch of different colors if I want to be coloring things in, which I do here and there, but this is completely not necessary. All you really need is a good pen and you're good to go. So that's all my equipment, you guys. So bullet journaling to me was a really intimidating thing. I thought it needed to be super fancy and that I had to have the prettiest, most aesthetic setup. But I learned I really didn't need all that, and there's a lot more to bullet journaling than just making it super pretty. And I learned that by watching Amanda Rach Lee's Ultimate Guide to Creative Planning and Journaling. I found her class really easy, really helpful, really easy to follow, so she really does break down the whole anatomy of a bullet journal, why to bullet journal, and how to start making your own really aesthetic or really simple bullet journal. It's really whatever you want to do. So she helps you out with layout, with supplies, and gives you a whole bunch of ideas on things like habit trackers and other things that you might want to add to your very own custom bullet journal. Skillshare is an online learning community that has thousands of classes that they update all the time, so you can learn to create your own bullet journal, to photography. You can learn pretty much anything you want. And what I really like about Skillshare is that it's truly a community. You can start conversations in the class discussions, you can share your work and your ideas, and it's really cool to learn and grow together. So if you're interested in trying Skillshare yourself, then go ahead and click the link down below in the description, because the first 1,000 people who do will get a free premium membership trial. So thanks so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and thank you for helping me figure out how to journal. So the beginning of my bullet journal was quite disorganized. I pretty much used it as just like a planner because me personally, I get very overwhelmed by all of those really fancy, beautiful bullet journals that are all over the internet. So if you are intimidated by journaling, then it doesn't have to be fancy, and just using a blank notebook as a planner is perfectly fine. And I started this out with a 2021 manifesto. Now I got this idea from a couple of creators here on YouTube. One is Amanda Weldon. She is an amazing creator and a really good friend of mine, and she has a lot of beautiful, beautiful videos and inspirational videos on bullet journaling. Also, I got a lot of inspiration from the layout of Rowena Tsai. So she is another YouTube creator on here, and I absolutely love her channel. So a lot of my layout is very similar to Rowena's. The sky's the limit when it comes to your bullet journaling, but for me, just to get started, I really just sort of customized my own planner and kind of let it grow from there. So I've only been bullet journaling since January. We'll start with my 2021 manifesto, which is keep on and carry on. And I know that's really not that creative, but it really sort of speaks to me in terms of the year that I want to have for myself. This is going to be my debt-free year. This is going to be the year I save up my emergency fund. So for me, it's really about minimizing distractions, keeping my head down, keeping my blinders on, and reaching my goals. I might add more to this when the mood strikes, but for now, this is all I got, and I'm not that fancy. The next spread is my yearly log. All I use this for is to figure out what day of the week a certain date in the month is. Really general notes like birthdays. I had my no by month. January 7th was Ukrainian Christmas, and the 21st was my birthday. And I also circled every payday in green, just so I know when those are. I can plan ahead with my budgets. So for example, in July, I have 3 pay periods here, so I know I can do some extra budgeting, and hopefully this is my debt-free month. In bullet journals, they often talk about having a key or a legend in terms of your tasks, what's done, what needs to be moved, what needs to be rescheduled. You can use whatever symbol you like that is helpful. To be honest, I was using this at the beginning. Now I really don't use this that much. I don't really find it super helpful. Usually I just use a bullet point for my tasks, and when I finish it, I cross it out. And if things get moved, then I just rewrite it down on the day that I need to do it. So I don't actually really use this. I haven't really utilized the productivity and efficiency of using the master key for your bullet journal, but that is what that might look like if you wanted to use it. And then we get into the weekly log. So essentially this is the planner portion of the bullet journals. I don't really know what I was doing here because I have the same week on both of these pages. I think I was trying a different layout, or having appointments on this side and to-do lists on this side. So I really didn't like this layout. As you can see, I decided to change my weekly log spread into 2 pages for 1 week. This I took straight from Rowena Tsai. So this I just use for appointments, and then I have larger days of the week that has more room to write out more specific to-do lists, things I want to accomplish, things like that. So this is very much like a planner style, and you'll see in the coming months that I added more space for actual journaling and brain dump as opposed to just to-do lists. This here is my financial spread. So I have my debt-free tracker, and then I have my baby step 3 spread. So saving up my 3 to 6 month emergency fund. I drew a little gold bar very, very sadly and very roughly, but I have a goal to save up $25,000 as my 6 month emergency fund. So every time I contribute $1,000, I'm going to color this in. And this actually was inspired by Asia Dang. She did something very similar when she was paying off her debt. Every time she paid $1,000, she just highlighted the $1,000 until she was free. Here I have my debt-free tracker. So I'm just keeping track of my starting balance at the beginning of every month, my ending balance, and how much I paid off. I have right here, today on whatever date, I will be debt free. So we're aiming for July, you guys. I actually really need to fill this in because February is almost over by the time I'm filming this. This I've left blank just for whatever, not really sure. And then I have books I've read or listened to because I prefer to read audiobooks. So I already finished one book, and that was 10% Happier by Dan Harris. I loved it. I thought it was amazing, but I have a bunch of books here that I either want to read or have started reading. Inside of a Dog is the one I have next on my Audible. And right now I'm still working my way through Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. Here I have a check-in. This is just a little thing to sort of prompt me to reflect on the month, reflect on what went well and what are the things I want to improve on. The word of my month was consistency. What did I actually do? What needs to change? So that's why I think in January, maybe I wasn't very consistent with like my workouts editing every night, preparing lunches the day before. I'm a rusher, and my morning routine is definitely not relaxed during the week, so I rush to make lunches in the morning. So that was one of my goals that I did a little bit, but not really. So I think a really good word of the month for February was realistic. So don't overshoot, don't beat yourself up, and take breaks. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this. I think this is just gonna be brain dump for whatever day I feel like it. As you can see, I started doing journaling really late in February here, and that's because I've been using my bullet journal to focus more on my affirmations, my gratitude journaling, things like that. So I kind of switch between these two. This journal isn't always near my bed, whereas my 5-minute journal is. So I think that's why I haven't been using my journaling spread that often. I have a spread for YouTube video ideas. And then here I started a clothing inventory spread. I had plans to start a baseline and count all of my clothes in January 2021 and compare it to December. I started but didn't really finish. I'm not sure why. I ended up doing some declutters in between here, so I don't have a really good baseline starter. So I think I'm gonna have a video all about my clothing inventory. But you can see, I wish I started my January baseline, but at the same time, like, who cares? January is just another day. There's always a starting point and an ending point, and you can define whatever that is. So I went for it, didn't follow through. So now we're getting into February. And honestly, my February focus for my bullet journal was just tracking my habits. I have a lot of goals and aspirations in terms of when I want to get up in the morning, how often I want to be working out, if I want to be eating healthy, I want to get into meditation, focus on me time. There's a lot of things I want to be doing, but I had no way of actually seeing if I was doing it besides just some assumptions that I had. So in February, I made this little habit tracker. For each dot, I wrote out the days of the month. I wrote out the date on the side and the day of the week that was. These are the habits that I want to build for myself. Getting up early at 7 in the morning so that I can have a more relaxed morning routine. Drinking 2 liters of water minimum a day. Moving for 20 minutes a day, that's a kettlebell. Meditating for 3 minutes a day. As you can see, that only happened 3 times this month, so that's something I can really work on. The little pencil is, did I journal? Did I read today? Did I take some me time? Did I eat healthy, or what I consider eating healthy? And did I go to bed by 11 p.m. or at a reasonable time? I think it's February 27th, the day that this is being filmed, so I wrote out a February recap that I have to still fill out. So I wanted to focus on 3 things that I did, some wins, some work-ons, and how I was going to work on them, and my outlook for March. This spread I changed a little bit, so I decided to combine my habit tracker along with the March at a glance. So this will probably just be for appointments, due dates, things like that. I had it down here because I just screwed up the lines. I don't know. So I have my 7 a.m., my water, and I changed a few things. I added a $sign, so I'm going to check mark off if I did some budgeting that day, which I anticipate that I will check off every day because I look at my budget like 3 times a day. And I added if I edited some videos, because in a lot of my habit building is on time management, because I work a full-time job and I do YouTube pretty much full-time. On top of it, I really have to focus on how I manage my time, how I spend my time in my evenings and my mornings, things like that. So I'm hoping I can couple editing with getting up early in March. So this is something new. So this is a March focus. So this is inspired by Rowena Sai and also some goal setting worksheets that I have done in therapy. But I thought it was really helpful to write down your goals, write down your focuses. And I thought I would do that on an every week basis, something I want to accomplish. So week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. And then around those things that I want to accomplish, I'm going to write down any obstacles or limiting beliefs behind how I'm going to accomplish it and whether or not I'm going to accomplish it. Things I need to achieve the goal that I want to do, and what can I do now to work towards my goal per week. So that's something that I'm going to really be focusing on every single week in the month of March. And I just had this page for extra notes, things that I learned in relation to my March focus. As you can see, I really like this spread where I have my more pressing appointments on the side, and then my to-do lists based on the day of the week. And then I added here a section for recap through the week, any thoughts, any inspiration, basically anything I want to write down. So down here I plan to write the thing that I wanted to accomplish because it's a week by week basis. My spreads are weekly, so I'm going to write that down here so I can see it every time I go to my log. That's it for my bullet journal, you guys. It's nothing fancy. What I really had to learn to let go of is that this doesn't have to be fancy. This doesn't have to be anything complicated or aesthetically pleasing. This can be literally whatever you want it to be, and it turns into something and evolves over time as you do it. So don't be intimidated. Don't worry about it being perfect, especially from someone who can't even draw stick people that well. And I think the whole benefit from this is the idea of slowing down, getting off screens, getting off our phones, and just writing pen to paper. And I think that just allows us to absorb our own thoughts, our own intentions, and even something as simple as our to-do list. So that's why I like this. That's why I'm doing it. So I hope you liked this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Let me know if you want to see more of my bullet journal, more of my journaling, more of how all of that is going, more walkthroughs, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye.